Okay, so for today's assignment, or actually started yesterday, um, we're going to be working on 8th grade math. And so this is what it would be where we have value of x that's going to be combined and put on both sides of the equation. So let's take a look at the first one. On Saturday, you bowl at Gallery Place, where renting shoes costs $2 and each game bowled is $4. On Sunday, you bowl in Lehman, where the shoe rental is $5 and each game bowled is $1. If you spent the same amount of money each day, how many games, which will be G, were bowled? First thing I want you to do is you're going to use two color pencils. And so I'm going to use yellow and orange. And so I will bring you that. On the first one, I'm going to have yellow is going to be my constant. And I'm going to use orange for my coefficient. I spelled that one. Let me just go ahead and start writing. Clefficie. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to use orange to represent my coefficient. Okay, now remember constant is one time only, one event or one time only. Coefficient is a repeated event. And multiply it by x, okay, or the variable. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get information 1 and information 2. So information 1, I'm going to put down the first one, which is gallery. We're looking at renting shoes, so I'm going to underline this part here. It costs $2, and then each game bowled is $4. So here it's going to be rental shoes. And the cost is, we said here it's $2, so I'm going to write $2 here. Each game costs $4. Okay. Let me make that a little bit larger. You can see it on the screen. Okay. It says that for how many games? So for games, we're going to use the letter G. All right, now I'm going to identify. So looking at here on rental shoes, for every game you bowl, do you have to rent the shoes again? No, it's just that one time. Because it's one time, we're going to call this my constant. So now you're going to get your yellow pencil and you're going to highlight this constant. And in here, rental shoes, you're going to highlight that one yellow. That's the constant. The next one, each game costs $4. Okay, so that's for one game. How much for 2 games? $8. 3 games, $12. So that one's always repeating itself, right? Because it's repeating, we said it's called a very good coefficient. This one here, I'm going to be coloring orange. And inside here, each game is $4. Okay, so now I have identified my coefficients and I identified the constants. And then we have, let's just do a third color. And I'll bring up the third color too, y'all. So the third color, let's see what I have here. Okay, got this little blue. just going to do this for the variable. And we'll do variable. And we're going to color that one green. And the variable is a letter. So it's the letter assigned to unknown. So that's where we need to find it's the unknown value. This is where we'll have to find that value. Okay? All right. Now I need to create an expression. Well, remembering in the classroom, we had that the coefficient goes with the x, or the letter, and the constant is what we're adding or subtracting to that. So here I have $2, right? Plus, this is my coefficient that's going to go with my letter. It could have been x, but here they assigned it as g. So then it's going to be 4g. An expression means that it does not have an equal sign. It's just letters and numbers and symbols that create the sentence. Now let's go to information 2. Information 2, we're going to Lanham polling place. And we're going to repeat the same thing. So this is what is expected so that you can get credit. You're going to write down rental, shoe cost, and in here it's $5. And each game costs, and here it's going to be $1. And again, for games, we're going to be using G, the letter G. Okay, so again, I'm going to identify the rental shoes. We determined that that's going to be a constant because that's not going to change. So I'm going to write constant because it's one-time fee, right? They don't charge you for every time you bowl another game, you get charged another rental charge. The game, though, however, is what's going to change. So this is the coefficient. So if I play 10 games, I'm going to be charged $10 because it's $1 a game. I'm going to highlight this orange. In my story, I'm coming over and I can see my shoe rental is $5. That's my coefficient. And each game is $1. And then I have my games is G. And then I'm going to go ahead and just label it my variable. I'm going to do that on both sides. Go ahead and do that. That way it balances out each other. Make sure I highlight that one and this little green. Okay, now I'm going to create an expression. Again, I'm going to have just my constant, which is a whole number. It's a number that's left by itself. So it's going to be $5 plus, well, 1G, because I'm going to multiply those together. So we can leave it like this, or it could be 5 plus G. Do these both say the same thing? Yes, it does. Okay. Now the next thing, to create an equation, we're going to bring these two together. So I'm going to rewrite this one, 2 plus 4G. I'm going to put an equal sign because we're looking for the same amount, which is equal. And then I'm going to have 5 plus G. Now I need to put my G's together. And the rule of thumb is just moving over your lowest one and then move your constants together this way here. So the first thing I'm going to do is move my variable. You can move either one first. I'm going to just do the variable, so that's G. And it's a negative because this was a positive minus a G. I'm going to go ahead and put that 1 because it makes me feel better. If just putting G is good for you, just put minus G. So I've had 4 minus 1G equals 3Gs. Okay, bring down my plus 2, and this equals to 5. Now this is what we're familiar with. We're used to moving the constant over so that we can find the value. So this now becomes a -2, -2. So this makes it at 0. So we have 3G equals 5 minus 2 is 3. I'm going to bring that part right over here where I have 3G equals 3. I need to get 3G by itself, so I have to divide each side by 3. 3 over 3 is 1, so this makes it G. 3 over 3 is 1. So on this one right here, on how many games were bowled, only one game was bowled. Okay, and there you go. All right. You're going to color code the same thing, that over here. I'm going to help you set this up, and then the rest you're going to do for a grade. So at one store, a trophy costs, so store 1, a trophy costs $12.50. That's the flat rate, right? That's how much it costs. Then engraving costs 40 cents per letter. At another store, same trophy costs $14.75, with engraving costs 25 cents. How many letters, we're going to use E to find the number of letters, must be engraved for the cost to be the same? So for them to have the same amount of cost, how many letters are allowed to be engraved? So let's look at this first one. On this information, I'm going to simply have store 1. And this is store 2. So I need trophy cost. This is at $12.50. And engraving costs, that's 40 cents per letter for each letter. And then we're going to use Lee for the number of letters. We're going to use the letter E. Okay, so we said that the trophy costs $12.50. That's my constant, because that's not going to change. They're going to ring it up at $12.50. Engraving costs 40 cents per letter. So if I have one letter, it's going to cost me 40 cents. 2 letters, 80 cents. 3 letters, $1.20. So that changes. And then I have the E for my variable. So this is going to be, just draw an arrow there and put coefficient. And then here is variable. I'm going to color code this. So I'm going to do my yellow first. This is my constant, the trophy cost. My coefficient is what's changing, is the cost per letter. And then here, number of the letters is E. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing. This is going to be my constant. This is my letters. That's changing for my coefficient. And then this is my variable. We're going to do the same thing for store 2. What is your trophy cost? The engraving cost. And the number of letters. Okay, so for your trophy cost, how much is your trophy on the second store? $14.75. Engraving cost is 25 cents per letter. Number of letters, we're using E. Okay? We know that the cost of the trophy is constant. So I'm going to write constant here. That's my constant. So that's going to be adding to it. Engraving is going to be the one that's changing. So I'm just going to put this coefficient. That coefficient, where I lost my track because people opening the door. Okay, and then the E is your variable. All right, now you're going to color code. We said the constant is yellow. So the cost of the trophy is going to stay the same. It's not going to change. What's changing is number of letters that you're purchasing, and then your variable is E. Okay? All right, now what you need to do is follow this part up here and create your expressions. Okay? So pause it. You're going to do this. This is a grade. And then create your equation, which you're going to have an expression equals an expression. So whatever you get here, and you're going to move this one over here. This is the expression for store 1. This is the expression for store 2. And then you're going to solve. So then do what we did over here, where you're going to bring those together. Okay? And then that's what you'll need to do because this part counts as a grade. You won't need to do the back part. We're going to be doing that together on Monday. Get this one turned in as soon as possible.